drop a pick on them. I get chilly going ham, it get sick on them. New Ferrari hit the ground, drop a pick on them. It get chilly going ham, I get sick on them. These niggas talk a lot, my dollar's up a lot. Hall of Fame, you're a step and got me up a notch. Drop some cash on her ass, but she be on blocks. I'm a gangster, so they notice when I hit the spot. This illegal decorated, gotta keep a Glock. Plus I'm living with no smut, mean I'm at the top.
It's the good old big deal. You already know what time it is. It's Hot Topics. It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing to press that button. And if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail. So, we here with another message like the other one. So, to you guys that tuned in yesterday and was able to catch my message pertaining to Melvin Former, I'm here again to furthermore report progress in which I spoke to Melvin in person today. So, I encountered that message yesterday, and you know, I attacked some things in his message pertaining towards peace, ceasefire, and things that were spoke about pertaining to the internet. However, I got a call from Melvin Former this morning, and I don't know how Melvin got my number, and I really forgot to ask him how did he get my number. But for whoever passed my number out to this guy and or man without having confirmation for me, I hope you soon weed it out and you a person that don't deserve my number in your call log, period. Because I don't know who you thought you were or think you are to just be passing my number to somebody, to anybody. I don't care, same gang, same mama, who, whatever. If a person don't have my number, they don't have my number for a reason. And if you don't know that reason, you should call in if you have my number and figure out if it's good to give my number out before you start giving my number out thinking that you wavering good deeds and things like that. Because I got that phone call from Melvin this morning and we spoke. And somewhere amongst those lines, I started to get lost in our conversation, because at one minute it felt like I was being given a pat on the back and being told that I was doing what I was supposed to do. But in a different sense, it was seeming like he had a problem with certain things in, or was trying to attach himself to things that had anything to do with him. So, with that conversation we had, I felt that conversation was going to go bad, so I chose to hang up that phone. I hung up the phone, and before I hung up the phone, I told Melvin that I will be in the 80s, be in my community of the A trades, and furthermore, if he wanted to discuss this conversation, he was more than welcome to pull up on me. I hung up the line. I hung up. He told me that he will be in the 80s later on, which I didn't believe. So, in reference to him saying that, I told him if it was more appropriate for him and beneficial for him to drop his location to where he was at now, then I would surely pull up. He dropped his location. Within 30 minutes, I pulled up to that location. Called him. He was downtown LA, where it looked like he had filmed his last segment at on Skid Road in San Julian. Knew the area well. I used to work that area for a company called Urban Alchemy. Pulled up down there, and my first question was to him when he seen me, it was, "Oh, what's up?" And I was like, "Well, no, where was the energy at from the phone? Like, what was all this that we was going through on the phone?" You know what I'm saying? So he assured me it was a misunderstanding and that he stood with me. And I explained to him the problems that I had with his segment and him saying it ain't no peace, but then saying the 60s was our allies, amongst other things. You know what I'm saying? You guys will have to go and watch the segment. I don't want to rewind that whole segment, but I highlighted what was my problems with him, and he said that it was a misunderstanding on our behalves and that he stood with me and that we were one. And as I told him, he an older dude, older ETG before my time. It ain't for me to tell him what and what not to say, but I felt he was pushing a false narrative, and I was the one behind the narrative that's being pushed on behalf of the ETGs. So, again, he assured me that he liked what I was doing and that his message in no light form or fashion had anything to do with me and my push for peace. And that he did not consider YouTube the internet, which I assured him that YouTube was rightfully the internet. However, we spoke a little more, concluded, had an understanding, shook hands, went our separate ways. Now, what I'm really here to dialect with you guys on is that's what I want you guys to understand, because there's a lot of guys in the background who are piece of shits and don't mean nothing to this movement. It's a lot of guys who's not going to ever bust a gun, that's not busting a gun, that may have bust before, that have long been done with their lifetime, and sit there and ponder and squander in their demons, whether they choose to drink or whether they choose to smoke. These are usually the dudes that's doing all the hollering about peace and ceasefire and it ain't no peace, this and that. All these guys who's not going to bust their gun, all these guys who die, all these guys is claiming to not want no peace, is not going to hop out here on an everyday, day-to-day basis and push pollution and or execution. Secondly, I want to highlight something that I know may be unfamiliar to you guys. You guys get things misconstrued with this pecking order thing and thinking just because a guy is older and a guy is younger that a younger guy cannot speak and or contest what is being said by this elder. And that is a downright goddamn lie. Now, you have OGs, which are original gangsters. And you have OGs who are old guys. The original gangsters are the ones that withstand the test of time, been in the battlefield, racked up them accolades, and still stands in that community playing a different position. We usually know who these guys is. Definitely if you are a younger version of these guys and had looked up to these guys coming up. You know what's what in your community. Old guys are usually somebody that's from that community and or hood who's not took the stance of a combatant soldier. Everybody have a position to play. These are usually the dudes, who probably, what I'm saying, just was, the party crips, what I'm saying, coming up in their time, the homie that pop lock, that done his thing. You feel me? Might have, held the strap down, held different things, stole the car, different things, it's different positions that different people play. You know what I'm saying? But the older guys is usually not the guys who are not the combatant soldiers that was doing the shooting. It might have been the hustler, you feel me? And things like that. And sometimes the hustler and the killer merge. But usually it's just the killer, it's the hustler, it's the fighter, and things of that sort. You know what I'm saying? You guys know the vibes. You know what I'm saying? We not gonna sit here and fake it. Now, this is what I want to get to. People act like it's so foreign when younger dudes can test the words of elder dudes or older dudes, as if just because they've been around longer than you that they word is golden. These are human beings out here. Man lie, women lie. The only thing they say that don't lie is numbers. As well, dudes have misconceptions. And if I see a misconception and I choose to correct something that I feel that ain't right, I got all right to do that because you put yourself out there in a realm to be spoken upon. I'm not just hopping out there unrighteously trying to check elder dudes and older dudes, but why y'all act like that elders cannot be checking? Oh, I'll be getting all these messages and calls. Hey, ain't that the founder? Hey, Trey, ain't that this? Ain't that this? Like, what the hell what the hell do that mean? That's the problem with these things now, that people don't challenge and contest things that should have been contested long ago. Second, something else I want to point out that I see that goes on in our culture, or the gang culture. I don't know what fear that the first and second generation installed into the other generations of cripping our people, but I've seen since I've been coming up, those generations under the first and second rarely contest anything that they say. It's like that dude have these dad issues. I don't know, like, if the third generations and us that fall all up under the second and first generations, I don't know if it was like the dad issue thing, not having a dad in the home thing, because a lot of these dudes be wrong. Like, and they'll push that line that just because they the older homie, a big homie, I said what I said and shut up and I dare you contest it. And dudes be, and I just never been that type of dude. Like, I didn't grow into this. I came like this. Like, the only dude I can remember that I was scared of was my father. And once I got over the scaredness that he had in me, it wasn't no other dude on this earth that I was scared of. Definitely when you born the line of right and wrong. Because I've always had a mind to think of my own. I've rarely been directed by another mind to do things or to follow something. And if I had, it was something righteous or something that made sense to me or that I believed in. I'm not a dude that you can just come to and, hey, I said this and you stand on this, I'm your big homie. Whether you my big homie or not, I don't care if I'm under the same name. If it don't feels right, I'm not going to go for it. And I'm going to stand on that. And it's going to be what it's going to be behind that. But I just see like a lot of generations take on that dad monotone and that yes sir energy with the older homies. And that's why a lot of stuff is how it is right now today. If it's something righteous and they got that coming, of course, who am I to waver and do other, you know what I'm saying, on a righteous situation? But if it ain't righteous, it's not righteous. And I'm one of them dudes if I was alive back in them slave times or came up under them generations of first and second during those pivotal times, they probably would have killed me, or I would have killed somebody, because bucking is in my spirit when things don't sit right. I do not care who you are. You cannot push no narrative that is not righteous onto me. So with that being said, man, I seen all you dudes, man, that was trying to fake star stuff and, oh, you feel me, and probably was calling this dude, you know what I'm saying, hoping that you can start something, bro. But look, check this out, man. It's not going to never work in you fake cats' favor, you know what I'm saying, when it come to me. I don't care. You may win the battle, but you ain't going to win no war, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to lay that on the table because I see the games that you dudes play. Playing the devil's advocate. But on another note, I had another monumental conversation with a member of the gangsters, and it was pertaining to peace. And this dude unloaded and shared a lot with me that I want to share to you guys. I'm not going to say this guy's name because I didn't plan on sharing this with y'all, nor did I get permission to share this with y'all, but it was unloaded on to me, you know what I'm saying, in my walk and stands for peace. So I don't feel wrong sharing this information with y'all. But being that I didn't ask dude to share this information, I'm going to keep it respectful and not drop his name. But if you know the situation, I'm pretty sure you know who this factor of a person is. So I got a homie that's pushing for peace out here, and he was just saluting me amongst my push, and he was like, "YA, I've been out for such and such time, and I've been pushing the same thing, and I've been getting a lot of hate and backlash from dudes." He said, "YA, the 60s, these dudes raped my sister, left her on the school playground, left her for dead, did everything unimaginable to her, you feel me, that they can inflict on her. She was an enemy to them, or the enemy of an enemy of theirs, and we knew that hurting her would inflict hurt upon you and send a message to you." They raped my sister, left her on a playground, dead. I hated those dudes. My everyday breath and existence of living was to go put in work and eliminate them dudes. I've been shot by them dudes. One of the last times I was unconscious, right before I went unconscious, I heard F ramps and was shot multiple times. When I went to jail to serve my life sentence was for killing one of those dudes. I had a cold hatred for them dudes. Cold hatred that I can't explain or attest to you. The hatred I have for these dudes. He said, "You know what? I went to jail on a murder for these dudes, went to the county jail. My case is wrapped up. I was given a life sentence. I went up top, was happy to greet the homies that I hadn't seen in years." He said one of the first homies that came to see me was an older homie I had love for and respected on a combatant front. And knowing what he was down for, I didn't expect what was going to happen next. When this older homie came to greet me, he came to greet me with some other neighborhoods, and I couldn't understand it. And I turned my face up, and before I can trip and do anything or say anything that will be offensive, the older homie checked me and told me, Wasn't none of that going on up here. Over the years, doing his time, he learned to live with these dudes as well as merge with these dudes. He gained his freedom, overturned that life sentence, got out of jail, got his own organizations, non-profit, things is helping kids and stuff like that. He talked to dude from the 60s, he talked to dude from the 90s, as well as dude from other places. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, did he have this outlook? I don't think so. Could you have sold him this outlook? I don't think so. Could you have sold me this outlook? I don't think so. They say God moves in mysterious ways and things happen mysteriously. So, with that being said, and that I share with you guys, a lot of you dudes' hatred don't run that deep. A lot of you dudes ain't lost no mothers. I don't even know the dude Joker, but I've seen a few of his interviews. He talks about losing his mother, brother, during the 6-on-8 trade war. These are dudes that have lost mothers, that have had sisters raped, all type of stuff happened. And all these dudes is taking a stance, as far as I understand, on peace or ceasefire or whatever you want to call it. And these dudes has some monumental situations in our acts that have happened that will foster a lifetime of hatred. You dudes have been shot, friends have been shot, some of you dudes ain't been shot, some of you dudes' friends ain't been shot, some of you dudes have adapted this community in our area and try to rep it as if, you know what I'm saying, you would just lost a family tree behind this. So to y'all, I say that's out there watching, bro, and they got a voice in somebody in y'all hood, bro. What the hell we gonna do? If dudes like this can let go of the hatred, who the hell are you to keep on holding on to this hatred? Another guy from I understand, Big Rick out the 60s. That's who brother died and the war started over. From my understanding, he's not even tripping. He don't even have no hatred towards the A-Trays. It had been too long. So much stuff had happened since then. Like people get older, growner, more mature, and things of that sort. So you guys keep on allowing the flames to be heightened on fires that should have died out long ago. And if you that prospective person in that neighborhood or set that can make a new monumental change that would change the direction in which things have been going and could go, why not be a part of that? Why not be a part of new history instead of trying to keep on brokering old history, ancient history? Let's embark on something new. So with that said, I'm going to conclude this segment here and leave it to y'all. See what y'all think. It's your boy Young and Hefe. Care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing to press that button. And if you ring that bell, I'll bring you mail.